Today we are going to be talking about conversions. So this goes right along with your measurement practice that we've been doing the past 3 days during our math time. So what we are going to be able to learn to do is take our measurements and learn how to convert them into like measurements within the same unit system. So that sounds a lot harder than it actually is, I promise, and we're going to be able to do plenty of practice together in this video. What I want you to do is take out a pencil, your conversion sheet that I handed to you this morning. It will look similar to this. It has the KHDUDCM on it. It's going to help you during your assignment and also during this video when we do our practice problems. And I'd also like you to take out your practice problems that we will be doing together in the video that I also handed to you with your conversion sheet. Okay. So let's get started. And remember, this is a video, and as we're working and when we're doing the practice problems or any time, you can pause it and until you get something, or if you need extra time to work, you can always pause it until you're done with a certain problem. And remember that you can also back up the video and watch something again if it didn't quite sink in the first time, or if you were paying attention, which why wouldn't you be paying attention? This is a very engaging video. Okay, so let's get started. So first, let's talk about this chart we have, which is going to help you convert. So we're going to start with the K, which is for kilo, hecto, deca. The U is for unit, and that's a little different. We'll talk about that in a second. Deci, centi, and milli. Okay, so back to the unit. This is going to be your basic unit. It is what it says. So when we're converting, today we are going to be working with 3 different things. We're going to be working with grams, liters, and meters. So with those 3 units, we can convert it to like measurements within this system. So that is where these come in, the K, the H, the D, the C, and the M. Because these are suffixes, and we're able to convert between these very easily to convert the measurement. So an easy way to remember this, because right now we're going to be working a lot with the handout, and I'm going to let you use it when you do your assignment, but eventually we want to have this memorized. So an easy way to memorize it is to think of this. King Henry died unusually drinking chocolate milk. So if you can remember that, chances are that is conversions are going to be very, very easy for you. But what you need to remember is that there are 2 D's. So remember, the first one is deca and the second one is deci. However, you need to remember that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start with a practice problem. And I know that we've never done this before, so it might be a little weird at first, but we're just going to try it. And I think by the time we do a couple, it's going to make so much more sense. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the process in which we do it. So our first problem is going to be converting 63.7 centimeters and to find out how many millimeters that is. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the chart, and you can look at the chart on my video or you look at the chart on your paper, which is a little more detailed. So first of all, it's asking us how many millimeters are in 63.7 centimeters. So what we want to do is we want to go to what we know. So we know there are 63.7 centimeters. That's cm, centi, and then we want to see how many millimeters. So what we're going to do is we are going to go 1 to the right. So that is, we're now at milli. Okay, so when you do this, there's a really easy way to do it. So 63.7. So you find the decimal in the number, 63.7. And since we just moved from centi 1 over to the right, we're going to do the same thing here. So we're going to move 63.7. We're going to move that decimal over 1 place, just like we went from centi to milli. And we are now at 63.7 centimeters equals 637 millimeters. Okay. Now I'm going to show you that one more time. So what we did is we started out with 63.7 centimeters. We are now going to find millimeters, which is what the problem is asking for, And you see that's 1 away. So we go 1 to the right, and we're now at millimeters, or milli. Now we go to our problem, 63.7 centimeters. The decimal is between the 3 and the 7. We're going to move that decimal place 1 place over so that we're now 637 millimeters. So basically, what's happening is that you're dividing or multiplying by 10, whichever way you're moving. So when we're at centi, we're moving over 1 place. So what we're doing is we're multiplying by 10. And then, but if we were at milli and going to centi, we'd be dividing by 10. So if you're going to the left, you're dividing. If you're going to the right, you're multiplying. And it's, this would be by 10. If we went to milli to deci, we'd be multiplying 10 times 10, which would be, we would be dividing 10 times 10, which would be 100. So we'd be dividing by 100 if we went from milli to deci. Okay, but we're going to do a couple more to practice. I just wanted to point that out, and I know it says it on your handout. So the next one we're going to do is 321.8 milliliters equals how many liters? So let's find milli. This is where we just were. And now this one's a little tricky because you have to know that liters is under the unit category. So remember that liters, grams, and meters are under the unit category. So when that happens, we start at milliliters, milli, because that's what we know, and we move over 1, 2, 3. So that means we're going to move our decimal point 3 to the left, just like we moved this 3 to the left. So here's our decimal point, 321.8. We're going to move it 1, 2, 3 spots to the left, which is 0.3218 liters. Now I'll give you a second to kind of think about that and process that. So let's do that one more time, okay? So we started with milliliters, and we wanted to find liters, which we know is under unit. So we moved 1, 2, 3 places to the left. We then found our decimal point, which was between the 1 and the 8, and we moved it over 1, 2, 3 spaces, just like we did on the chart. And that is how we got our answer. And now we are going to do one more problem together. Okay, so it's asking us how many kilograms are in 673.1 grams. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with grams, and where is that going to be? It is going to be under the unit, because we know liters, meters, and grams all fall under this unit category. Okay, and we are going to be finding kilograms. So what we're going to do, start where we're at grams. We're going to move 1, 2, 3 places to get to kilo. 3 places to the left. We're once again going to find our decimal point, and we're going to move it 1, 2, 3 places to the left, which would be 0.6731 kilograms. And remember, you can kind of check yourself when you're doing this, because if you start out with centimeters, for example, and you're moving to a smaller one, it's going to be more. Okay, but on our next one, we started with liters. We started with liters here. No, we started with milliliters. And then we went to liters. So when you are taking something like milli and putting it into liters, there's a lot of milliliters, but there's not as many liters, so the number is going to end up being smaller. And that is how you can check yourself. Okay, so we're done with our practice problems. So what you're going to do now is you're going to do the assignment that I handed out to you. You can do this alone or in partners. And remember that I will be walking around and to help you if you have any questions. Okay, thank you.